So one of my favorite things about natural language processing is generating text. It's kind of the magic part of computer science and natural language processing. You get to test the bots by asking them questions or seeing what they know. So it's a lot of fun. And recently with a lot of the open source models that are being created, you can create some really smart bots, and we're getting really close to things that are intelligent and fooling us into thinking they're human. So we're going to deploy one of those, one of the earlier versions of GPT. I think they're up to 4 now, or 3 at least, extra large, and then Google's Palm. But anyway, the GPT-2 is an older version of that, so we'll deploy it to generate some text. Designed to complete a text adventure like D&D, be sort of like your dungeon master. And we're going to use gradio. All you have to do is import gradio, tell it what you're giving so that it can have some stuff to put on the page. I don't even think we use the description in this particular demo. I'll give you the link to the blog post on Huggingface where I got all this stuff. But all you need to do is then pass in that path to the model you want to use. So this can be any way you have of creating a function. This is just a nice, handy way of creating a really advanced function that takes in text and puts out text. So that's this Hugging Face. Oops, this is, oh, okay. It's distilled GPT-2. So it's a simple, I was trying to get the conversational one up, but I haven't updated the code. I'll show you some slightly different code. This is the adventure bot, but it says Hugging Face here because that's, and then there's some GPT-2 adventure bot something there, and I'll show you the code on the repo in a second. And then there's the web interface is what the stuff that I have trouble with. I can make the models, but I have a really hard time making web pages. This is all that's required with gradio. You just tell it what kind of, most of these models tell you what their inputs and outputs are. And so if it's text in and text out, it'll just create 2 text boxes and display them for you. And you can run it from the command line, like just with your regular old Python and then calling the function, or you can launch an IPython console and run it. Let's hope I haven't broken it since great. And so, and then you can browse to it on your local machine. You can also serve it up publicly from your local machine if you want. So we're going to say a man walked into a bar and saw a green slime on the wall. The ... is probably going to confuse it a little bit, but anyway. And saw a smiling man who followed him. This man is known as the killer, and the police officer is investigating, and he's after the woman whom he saw the killer. Obviously, a very simple-minded bot, not very fun, but he's going to throw in a lot of violence in order to make it a fun adventure. And you could continue the story if you wanted to, just by taking the last bits of text, pasting them into the input, just recycling them in a recurrent sort of way. And you've got yourself a story generator, and it'll just keep going and going and going until you're satisfied. And you can try it over and over again. And let's see if you can get different answers if you do it multiple times. Well, I'll leave the dots there. And I'll just eliminate 1 dot to see if that makes any difference at all. No, it does not change it. So we'd have to change the temperature of the model to make it a little more random, but probably just getting rid of the dots might make a difference. The man in the green, wow, it's not even grammatically correct, but anyway. Now let's get it up on live. So while I still have a few minutes left in the presentation. So we're going to go to, did I put the links in here? No, I got them in my notes, so I haven't pushed lately. Let's grab the link out of the README file. You want to go to huggingface.co /new-space, and that will get you going. You'll need to have already created an account. So I'm cheating. I've already got an account on Huggingface, but they're really easy to set up. All you need is an email. So let's create one called text or D&D. And then we're going to choose Gradio because that's the framework we're using. There's a couple, Streamlit, if you're familiar with it, is another one, or you can just build your own HTML5 app or static. Actually, I don't even know what that is. Static 5. Anybody know what that is? It's like a big S and a shield. Looks a little bit like the Svelte logo, but I think it's some sort of web framework. So now it's telling us what to do. It's telling us we need to create our app file. So how do I do that? Oh, I go to Files and Versions at the top tab. Click on Add File. You can do this, of course. There's a repo you can clone, and you can do your normal workflow, but it's a little faster since I'm under a deadline here. I'm just going to copy and paste, and I'll copy the working code instead of the code. I'm also working on one that will generate a bunch of code. It was a much bigger model, and I'm not even sure if Huggingface will let me run it up there. But anyway, we'll just commit this guy and get going. Oh, I gotta give it a name. It'll let me give a short commit message, but not a. There we go. I got to give it the actual name app. So it looks for a couple magic names for files, app.py. Also requirements.txt if you have some other things besides the main framework that you're loading. Fortunately, Gradio has built in some Hugging Face models that it'll automatically download. So this is that GPT-2 story generator bot that we're actually using. I'm overriding the code generator because it's not working. Let's see now. Let's go to the page where that should be live. So I'll go to the app, and there it is. Maybe, yeah. Not the dark theme like we had locally, but all is well. So somebody else give me a prompt so we can have something a little more interesting than my green slime on the bar.
The adventurers descended into the dungeon. I'm trying to stay on brand with Dungeons and Dragons.
Smart. I changed it up a little bit. Stone. Whatever. Yours is better. Oh no. Well, it's not working as well as it did. Come on, come on. Huh. Okay, what's going wrong? Maybe I've done something funky in the code. Check out the file. So we deployed it, but it's not working. So you can see that the concept works. Let's get rid of some of the cruft. I need to edit. Click the edit button. Oh yeah, I was giving it some examples already, but that's not. I was going to have a qualia conversation with a more conversational, smarter chatbot, but that didn't come about in time. Let's see. Description, model path, that looks all good. I don't see what could be possibly going wrong.
You need to remove the examples if you remove them, if you're going to execute that.
Yes.
I don't think that'll solve your problem though. But.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Because that should have been the same code. Oh, I hadn't saved maybe. Anyway, we'll see. I need to commit before I go, and then we'll see if maybe if I don't give it any examples, I wonder what it does. It's probably still the old version, but we'll give it a shot anyway. Wonder what I have to do to refresh it.
There is it does say building. Not to enter. Oh, now it says running. Okay.
Okay. Not very relevant. I'll make this bigger for you guys, so you can join me. It's not very coherent, but maybe if I don't put a new line. Huh. Looks like it really needs a new line. No, it's just randomly breaking on me. Okay. I don't know what's going on, but at least we deployed and it was under 5 minutes, maybe. Any questions?
I have a question. So is the main goal of this basically to test? I mean, it looks like it's an easier way to test a machine learning model and share it with other people. Is that sort of the main deal there?
Yeah, and with machine learning, you often need help with people evaluating edge cases and trying to come up with clever ways to trick a bot or whatever, or and so, or give it, distorted images or adversarial images. So yeah, it's a great way to share it and get a lot of help from a community.
Thank you. There was a question in the chat. Betty asked, just wondering, have you worked with language auto translation via BERT or other NLP models?
Yeah, I haven't. Well, yeah, I have created a neural network translator, but wasn't super great. I wasn't training it on a huge data set. There's a lot of really good data sets, and I was training it on a smaller one. It's kind of a solved problem. Yeah, you can definitely do it well if you spend some time at it. It's much more fun just to generate random text.